Hey, how's it going? Today, I'm mostly going to be talking about 5 really cool tricks you can do with your solid-state Logic Uf8, and maybe a couple of tricks about the UC1 as well. Woohoo! So we're completely moved into the new place, just getting used to the setup here. After the move, I've been trying to get the studio set up as best as I can. In the meantime, I realized how much I missed having the UC1 and the Uf8 in front of me. When I went to try and work on my music with just the laptop, it was pretty difficult. We're pretty much in now. I'm just about ready to get working on some new stuff. So just before we get started, I just wanted to say how much fun I've been having using the SSL Uf8 and the UC1. Making music these days has been such a good time. There's no pressure to become the new best thing or anything like that. I hope you're enjoying making the music and using the tools that we have now to enjoy yourself, possibly release some music for everyone's enjoyment. The gear doesn't matter that much. It just makes getting what it is that you're trying to say or trying to do easier to accomplish. I hope everyone is enjoying themselves making music, because that's what this is really all about. So, alright, on to the tips. One thing that I realized, and is a great tip, is if you only have the Uf8, normally I would be working in Logic on layer 1, which is here, but if you now go, let's just hit the 360 button. There we go. You can set the plugin mixer. I have it on layer 3, but you can put it on any layer you want. Select the plugin mixer. If you just open the 360 program and use it as if you were running an SSL desk, from the Uf8 in plugin mode, when you go to your soft keys over here, you hit 1. Up above allows you to change the width, the pan, the low pass, high pass are here as well. EQ and EQ type, but then as you go along through the soft keys, it actually follows the strips. For instance, the channel for the room selected, which you can see over here. Press high gain here. On the strip that I'm working on, then the pot now turns my gain. Isn't that amazing? Anything in the 360 program that you can see in your channel strip, starting from the top all the way to the bottom, you can now change from the Uf8 without a UC1. Great tip. I'm just going to run through everything that I have on my Uf8, all my quick keys for Logic. I'm going to start with layer 1. Boom. Layer 1. The V-pots are as normal. You can't change the V-pots. Soft key number 1 programmed in. Let me just show you on the 360 program. There's another little thing that you may not know. If you have the Uf8, hit the 360 button, it takes you to the home section of the 360. If you have the UC1 and you hit the 360 button, it takes you to the mixing desk look. How I have my first set of soft keys set up in my layer 1, previous mark, next mark, stop, play, cycle, automation, top. It takes you from wherever you are to the top of the song and 1 marker in, which I always have a 4 count in. So my 4 count is the 0, and the top would be the actual start of the song. And then I have my next button as close project. Onto my second set of soft keys. This time I have it set up, I'm working in Logic. I have top again, which is the same thing as I said earlier. Intro, it takes me right to the intro. Normally, because I do all my songs with the same setup, even if they're not identical to each other, I always have the intro as 2 in from the top. So I have top, intro, verse, chorus, next marker, and previous marker. I have the next marker there. If I'm going that direction, I'm going that direction. I have the coda, which is the last section that I normally do before the outro. And the next one I have is outro. So that's my second set of soft keys in layer 1. The third set of markers, I have 3 interesting bits here. I have low latency in Logic. All I have to do is hit this 1 button now. I did this by setting up a keyboard shortcut for the low latency button into the soft keys, the 360 program. The other two things that I have that are interesting in this third one are the track up and the track down. So many people were complaining about not being able to move around in a huge project. And I'm on my kick, as you can see here. I just hit track down and it goes 10 down. And I hit it again, it goes another 10 tracks ahead. Again, another 10 tracks ahead. I never have, say, more than 50 tracks at a time, so this allows me to move up and down 10 at a time. I'll show you how I did it in the 360 program. I literally did cursor up 10 times. For the track down, I just did the opposite. Onto my fourth, nothing unusual there. On the fifth soft key, I have kick and snares, Tom's overhead room. The please work. Sometimes it works, other times it doesn't. I'm not even sure why it's not working. Then I've got the floor, overhead left, overhead right, and the room. And those are generally what Johnny sends me. So when he sends me a track, I just hit that button and it automatically creates a new track with the names kick and snare or Tom, depending on whichever of these buttons I push. Possibly controversial. I use my second layer of soft keys as a controller for my Safari because I'm also sat in front of my computer to watch my YouTube videos right here on this same screen that I do the recording on. If you put none in, it actually turns it to nothing, so none of it works. So you have to put a DAW in. I just use Logic and added the shortcut keys, the command keys, my keyboard shortcuts into this in order to move it forward. Back, forward, play, reload, slower, faster, pick size, and full screen. So it's really handy using these buttons just to move around in my Safari. In the second set of soft keys, on layer number 2, I set up F keys to open programs. Binance, Logic Pro, Final Cut Pro, Spotify, TV, Photos, the Brave browser, or just take a screenshot. I just hit one of these buttons along the top now. On to number 3, I have a button now which just brings up a Finder window for me. So if I'm looking for something, I just hit the button, and then a Finder window will just pop open for me. I'm adding more shortcuts as I go along. This is for a Final Cut Pro to show the horizon. Push this button, the horizon lines come into the browser so you can see where your framing is. And the other ones are not done yet, but they will be. After a while, I'll get around to filling them up. Another really cool thing, if you're using the 4KB program and you're using the mic pre, it's gain compensated. So that is an interesting little bit of technology that's in there. If I move up to the mic pre and I turn it up and down, now you know that this is gain compensated, which is really cool. Let's say that you don't have the same size of screen that I do and it's a bit smaller like this. You can't see the entire desk at the same time as you're rolling up and down here. So normally you'd have to do this with your mouse, but I found a quick and dirty way of doing it is just to hover the mouse over, go to focus mode on the Uf8, and then you can move up and down, which is handy if your screen is smaller. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight into what you can do with the Uf8 and the UC1 beyond what it was designed for even necessarily. Some little tips and tricks there. I hope you enjoyed those. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.